These smaller ones like this, a lot of times you can just break with your knee. What I've done to close this end in is I just put a couple bigger logs across that way, and then I'll just lay a few this way and then put my debris right on that. That closes that end in so it'll trap the heat. But as you can see, I can get in here and the rain's going to fall down here. And with the debris on it and such, it'll bring it out a little bit. But I can lay right in here and it's way out here. So that should be good. Now if I have a fire right down here, that's going to generate heat right up and just roll it right onto me. So this is going to be good. Now when you collect ferns, you have to be careful, because if you just grab a handful and just rip, you can cut your hands. So it's better just to grab them at the base, snap them off, and as you see, they come pretty easy. I also have fir and spruce around here, but I don't want to be going around the trees and doing that right now. So what I'm going to do is collect some of this stuff and make a bed. Like I say, this type of shelter can take hours. In wintertime, you want a bed underneath of you. And I put a bed underneath me all times of the year because of dampness and so on. So you collect, you know, a foot of material basically, and you lay it in there, and you know, for snow, and you need about 6 inches of compressed material to keep you dry and warm right on top of the snow. There's varies in, you know, the different people say a foot. Some people say, you know, put 3 feet and compact it down. That's yeah, that would work. But I've also heard 6 inches, and I've had 6 inches, and it's worked for me. Now this here, this is going to be only a couple inches because I'm not going to actually sleep in this. So I'm just doing it for demonstration. This here is old dead branches of a fir tree. I can take this and where it's nice and flat, you can bunch them up like this, throw them on top of the back work there, and that's really good for catching debris so don't go down through. I could also rake up some of these, there's not much here for leaves and such, but I could rake that up as well and throw on there. So I have plenty of options. But anyway, I'll throw some of this on and then some of the ferns. That there is a fir branch, as you can see, nice and flat and such. That's what you normally use. I would pile a whole bunch of these up to a foot or more thick over top of that whole back, and that will shed water like amazingly. But there's a lot more of those ferns that I'm not going to hurt anything by picking those ferns than, you know, trimming all these trees. So I'd rather use what's more plentiful in my area at this time. I'm not going to finish this to make it rainproof or anything like that there, because all that shows is it would just take more time. If I can get it to that point that, you know, it shows that it can be done and how to do it, the only thing is it would just take more time to, you know, to actually make that waterproof. You just keep on harvesting, piling on, harvesting, piling on. You want with that stuff there, but the same thing, it will shed water. You want about a foot thick or more. You should be able to look through and not see any light at all, and then you keep on going even more. And that will shed the rain. Now remember that in some areas ferns carry ticks. So you have to be very mindful of that. This area here, like I said, I haven't really seen a tick. So I feel pretty safe about that. So what I'm going to do is I'll put that on like that. And then put that over top again like that. So it makes a really nice coating. Plus it's going to build up here and it should run off and just keep going. My body's not down at that far end, so if it did leak through a little bit, it's not going to matter. I only go to about here, and it's more of a steep slant. This shelter is to the point that you cannot see light through it. So a light rain, you'd be fine in this shelter. If you can't see light, it means that you're pretty well safe for a light rain. Although I would go a lot more just to be sure if it does heavy downpour or whatever, just to protect yourself. You can throw on leaf litter. You can throw on more you can throw on fir boughs, spruce boughs. Fir works better because they're flatter. More ferns, whatever, moss even. You can throw all this on top of this to make sure your shelter is waterproof. Though this here is your basic shelter. Like I said, I'm not going to use this. I just wanted to show how it's constructed without tools. And mainly what I used was knowing that they used to use spruce roots for cordage in primitive days. As well, they would break branches between two trees. So knowing these two factors or skills, it allowed me to construct this without tools. The rest, I just, it was small enough I could break it with my hand, break it with my knee. If it was any bigger, I'd break it by, between two trees. And then just knowing how to build the shelter. Now, collecting those ferns, make sure you know your area. I have no poisonous snakes, I have no poisonous spiders, or I don't have ticks. If you had those, that'd be kind of, you'd have to be so cautious when you pick these, because I'm sure they'd be hiding in underneath this stuff. So, know your area, know what people use in your area, and you'll be a lot safer out there. Anyhow, I'll show you the front side of this. So there it is right there. Got the bed in here. Of course I would need more if it was on top of snow or wet ground and such. And even this here, I mean the ground is, you know, a little bit cooler. It pretty well always is. Unless in our area anyhow. I mean if you have a hot ground then I guess you'd be okay. But I always put down a bed, and I'd put more than this, but just for demonstration. But as you can see, I can move right in here. The water drippage would be out here, not on my bed. So this would work great. I could have my fire pit there. Got this closed in right here, so it's going to circle around. If I want to, I can actually close this part in as well, so it kind of comes in and circles around here and keeps me warm as a pocket. So there's many ways to do this stuff, but knowing how to do this stuff just off of the land naturally is a good skill. But it's a lot. This here took me about 2 hours to build, which isn't bad. But I could throw up a tarp, you know, within 5 minutes kind of deal. And there's a bug there. And a lot of times what you can do, because there might be bugs in this stuff and such, you can build your fire and put a lot of green on it and let a lot of smoke and billow it in here and smoke this out so it will drive any of the insects away. Anyhow, I'll close this up. Okay, in closing, like I said, that only took a couple hours to make. It's doable. If it snowed or anything like that there, it's not going to snow. But if it did, that would definitely be enough to protect me from snow. I would have to put more of a bed down, of course. But even if it rained, that would protect me through, you know, a small shower or something like that there. So this would be a good type of shelter, and I've used these, and they work well. I actually have a video on the efficiency of one of these type of shelters, showing how a small little fire in front can heat these up. And it was 0 degrees, and it took it, you know, way up there. I'll put the link in the video down below. Anyhow, hope you like this, and gave you some ideas. Thanks a lot. Take care.